Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Lederman, and welcome to my multimedia presentation. For my research question, I asked, to what extent does physical health and exercise affect happiness, and does it last to old age? The relevance in this question is it's tied to happiness. Many people look to religion and psychology for solutions when they're unhappy with their lives. People like the Dalai Lama write off the idea that things in the physical world can't bring you long term happiness, including your own body. The Dalai Lama's discussion with Archbishop reveals to us the idea that long term happiness can only be achieved with love and fulfilled experience, while on the other hand, physical experiences can only bring short term happiness that won't last. It needs to be made clear that this is not true, as the research I've gathered will soon explain that exercise and physical health can have enormous long term effects on an individual's happiness. Now, the first proof that physical things can bring happiness is the actual physicality of a human body. Long term happiness is not always internal and can be improved externally through body's well being and exercise. But our genetics can influence our happiness. In the Journal of Genetics, Economics, and Happiness, subjective well being is measured to have a 33% dependency on genetics. They are something that we cannot control and are a part of our lives and who we are physically. Physicality can predetermine our happiness. Now that we have learned how physicality can bring happiness, it can also be made clear that one's physical health can also decrease one's self satisfaction. Depression can be seen in men and women who are physically unhealthy and overweight. This is important since depression affects roughly 9.5% of adults in the United States each year, and 17% will experience depression in their lifetime, quoted by the Boston University School of Medicine. Now, exercise can actually help with depression. Two studies have proven this, one of which was done with 40 depressed patients, putting them in weightlifting regimens or making them run every other day. This was done in an 8-week period. Similarly, the second study was done incorporating aerobic exercises, training mostly for endurance, also for 8 weeks, and an hour every 3 days. The results were decreased depression test scores the patients took after improving their physical activity. It is important to mention it doesn't really matter what type of exercise when trying to improve happiness. Since both studies were conclusive that exercise can help the clinically depressed, there can be an assumption that it will have an effect on everyday people. Now, exercise benefits need to be explained. The illnesses that are positively affected by exercise are cardiovascular diseases, chronic diseases, diabetes, depression, and cancer. Sorry. These are all affected because of exercise's benefits for the body. By creating increased blood flow, more blood vessels are created in the brain, allowing for higher functionality. It reduces insulin and inflammation inside the body, and it can increase production of healthy brain cells. Many studies have shown that the regions of the brain that directly affect thinking and memory are larger in people who exercise compared to people who don't. The Journal of the American Society on Aging backed these claims by revealing that midlife physical activity levels are associated with more gray matter volume 21 years later, even in the individuals diagnosed with pathological cognitive problems. Now, keeping the body healthy can be achieved through a healthy diet. A study which was done on vegetable and fruit consumption in a span of 3 years proves that having a healthy diet increased life satisfaction by regularly eating foods that were naturally produced and could make someone happier in the long run. Now, in light of all of the topics covered in this presentation, genetics, physicality, depression, long term benefits of exercise, and healthier brain function due to exercise, it is evident that physical health can bring happiness for a lifetime. Something physical can, in fact, bring that long term happiness and self satisfaction that the Dalai Lama said couldn't be achieved through physical experience. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed my presentation.